With hundreds of thousands of students in our community, this is really easy to understand what people are struggling with the most. It's usually how to come up with better models and how to progress from one detail stage to another. So in this video, what we're going to do, we're going to grab a simple model, we're going to create a blockout, then move on to secondary detail and then to tertiary detail. We're going to have a discussion about, how to progress from one stage to another, where to add details, etc. Okay, so let's go. Now, I'm gonna be using add-ons, guys, because, here's what I think about using Blender without add-ons, right? There you go. And hope it makes it clear. So we're gonna be using, machine tools and hard ups and box cutter. We don't really need mesh machine for this one. Well, actually, we kind of do for mirroring, but, you should be using add-ons anyway, because if you want to be efficient, that's the way to go, okay? Let me reset this scene. And by the way, I'm in Blender 4.0 because I fucking hate 4.1 and 4.2. It's fucking hot garbage, that's what it is. So anyway, let's grab a cube and actually, fuck it, let's grab a cylinder. And also let's grab a screencast keys because, reasons, right? Right, so cylinder. So Shift A and we're gonna grab a cylinder. Now, I think 32 is not good enough. I'll just go with 50 because, fuck it, it's Friday, you know what I mean? So RX and just rotate it on X. I press RR, just I'm used to plasticity now. Anyway, so let's make it a bit larger, right, like that. And that's peachy. Let's apply scale because that's important. And actually, let's create a bevel here like this. You may want to make it, quite soft and sharpen it, all right? That's cool, that's our main shape. All right, guys, well, I think that's it. This is, the final model with all the details. You don't want to overdo it, because if you put too much details on your model, it's not going to be really balanced. I'm just fucking with you. Okay, so let's get a plane because we need a plane because we need to stand on something, right? It's going to be like a generator or some such, you know what I mean? So we need a plane. All right, so here we're going to extend that. So let's just insert it with I, extrude it, insert it again, extrude it, and then we're going to actually, let's move it here and then extrude it here. Grab this one and you can press E, cancel and Alt S to expand this a little bit like this. I think that's pretty cool. And we're gonna stop a bevel on this one because we need one and weighted normals, right? And here in the back, we're gonna create kind of like a control panel or some such. So just grab a cube, move here. You see, like, I'm basically what I'm doing, right? I'm using blocks, right? I'm using, basic shapes to kind of determine what I really want to do in here because I still don't fucking know, right? So let's apply scale here and grab these two. I mean, these four, sorry, and maybe chamfer them. Maybe. Let me see that. Let me grab these, and now I'm trying to think, like, what kind of balance I want to build between it. Maybe I want this one taller. See, like, this looks a bit cool, yeah? Than just being squarish, because squarish, it's a bit boring. You want to offset shit. So now we have this element offset in the bottom, and this is a bit taller. I think it's a bit cool. And also what we can do, we could technically make it a bit wider. So let me just move it here, because I'm thinking about running a sort of like a like a bar in here, some sort of a bar. So there's gonna be a like a terminal here, and let's say this is hot or whatnot, and you want to protect it from people touching it or whatever. So we could actually do that. So let's grab that Shift D and move it here, and you want to press P and separate it from the other selection, because if you're going to go to object mode and if you're not going to split them, these two gonna be the same object. You don't want that, right? Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to go to vert mode, select this, select this one here, and go to vert mode, select that, there we go, and press E and Y, and extend it in here, and then we can actually go down, so go down here in an angle, like this, maybe to the front, and then go to the floor, okay? So E and Z, and you can dip it in the floor, yeah? Also, by the way, let's make this floor a bit thicker, yeah? So solidify. In fact, you want to apply scale before you want to solidify it, because I can't remember if hard ups apply scale when you solidify. Let me actually try that because I can't remember. Hang on. So let's go here and check scale, right? Here. Let's solidify it. Let me see that. No, it doesn't. You want to apply scale because later on you might have problems with bevels and shit. Okay, cool. So let's grab this one and we're gonna go to vert mode, select these two and shift control B to bevel them. And we're gonna run, you know, what you call them, the curve extract here, you know, just ever so slightly. And we're gonna press S for smoothing. And you know, we can leave it in a raw form at the moment. So grab this and GY, move it in here, peachy, and we're gonna move it, you know, to the right. So here, G and X, come on, GX, and move it somewhere here. I'm gonna mirror to the other side, okay. This one needs to be mirrored too. It's not really, there we go. That's better. So you see, we're slowly getting somewhere. This floor could be a bit lower. The reason being is because I want to have kind of like a base for this thing as well. So now what we can do is we can grab these and we can move them a little bit lower, yeah? So let me just snatch these and GZ. Don't have to worry about the other side because the other side is mirrored. Good, good, good. Here too, you can just snatch that and move it in. You know, peachy. We don't need this anymore, so we can nuke that. Fantastic. And we good to go. That's actually really cool from this side. You know, you also want to check if, you know, your model like is not clipping and such. If it is, what we could do, we could actually do something like that. So grab these and let's just move them on x-axis in here like that to kind of expand this a little bit, how this will look. Another thing what we could do, right, we could do something like that. Move this one here on Y, then extrude it on Y. So we're gonna have another point here. We grab these, right, and we move them on x-axis here, so we can rotate them, right? So watch. We're gonna move a cursor here to select it. We're going to shift the pivot to cursor. We're gonna select these fuckers and you know, rotate them on a z-axis like this, right? So we can do that, and then we can basically bevel this, right? Now you cannot bevel a curve, so watch this. I can go here to adjust curve, press X, then convert it back into a mesh. So convert visual to mesh. Grab this one and split it, right? And then I have this, and then I can go back here to mesh tools, convert to a curve, and then press S, you know, and I'm back in business. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, we can do that, and that's kind of interesting, I would say, right? And then we can mirror this to the other side. So let's just a mirror doesn't exist, so we can remove this one and remove the vertices, and we can just mirror that across, right, like that. Boom. So there you go. I think we are peachy. Now we need some kind of a base here. So cube, drop it down. Now let's change this to individual origins. Squash this, move it somewhere here. Now, since the base is in the back, right, I don't want to put this in the middle. I can put it up front to kind of spread things about, you know what I mean? When you spread things around, shit starts getting interesting, yeah? Ask your father. Okay, so here we can do that. We can scale this a little bit on X, right? Like that. We can apply the scale here. So Control A and apply scale. Boom. And let's maybe, now I'm thinking, do I do this? No, that will not look cool. What we could do is actually do this, right? You know, do something like that here. Maybe make it a little bit wider, and then run this kind of a bevel here. So then we have still space to, you know, to boolean them together, okay? Another thing we could do, we could, you know, cut this out, but I think booleaning gonna be better. Also, this edge here aligns really perfectly with this top here. I don't want that. I want this to be a little bit lower. So let's go down. You can enable here wireframe for a second, or to see, and we can drop this down to the middle, right? And now what we can do, we can boolean them together. So, you know, booleans and union. Now I told you that we're not gonna be using mesh machine, but I lied. Okay, sue me. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna use actually here the let me just grab this cutter first, and I'm gonna run a bevel on this one, right, like that. And then we can actually run the offset cut. So watch, I'm gonna apply this, operations multiply, right? And I'm gonna click, alt click here. Let me just turn off the bevel because I can't see shit. Click, alt click to select this entire loop, and then Y and offset cut. Offset cut is an experimental version, experimental feature in Mesh Machine. So if you want to use it, you need to enable it. Now you don't want to overlap. Either you want to go out or you want to go in. I think going in is fine. I don't need this to be so massive. Let's smooth it out and also turn off optimization. I want this to go through the entire length and something like this, and then we're gonna combine this. So click, alt click here, and we're going to run a boolean cleanup. So Y and boolean cleanup, and we're gonna combine the outer edges with this part here. It's not gonna be perfect, but it's okay. I mean, we could technically, you know, a kind of maybe boolean cleanup to the other side. Let's actually see that. So boolean cleanup, scroll mouse, and align the bottom. I don't think it's gonna be better, but yeah, it's the same thing. I say fuck it, you know, there's gonna be a mat over there. I'm not really worried about this. There's a bit of a beef here, but we can basically connect it like this, and everything gonna be peachy, okay? This also can, you know, imitate a weld or some shit. I don't really give a fuck. So let's go back. And you know, we could have some cuts in here, but later. So now we're gonna finish this one, right? So you know, what we want here, we want some kind of a maybe support here. So what we could do, we could convert this into a mesh, I think. So visual to mesh. We could grab the face here. So let's just close this, right? Because we're gonna need this closed faces and just, you know, sharpen or whatever. We're gonna grab that face and shift curve extract, okay, to do that. Shift S into geometry, and we're gonna, you know, expand this and move it forward. Make it a little bit bigger, then go back, right? And we're gonna have that. So let's just sharpen this, and that's the auto smooth problem basically. So let's grab sharpen and, you know, adjust auto smooth if we can. No, we can't. Okay, what's all the edges are sharp. Okay, fine. Select all and then sharp them. There we go, that's better. And we can actually create a chamfer in here and bevel this. And we have to lower the auto smooth, actually increase the auto smooth so it doesn't look faceted. Same here, we need to remove the sharp and peachy, okay? So we can copy that to the other side. No, so we're slowly starting to add, you know, like secondary details, right? Now let's enable the bevel here because we can't see anything. Here we could have a chamfer, actually. I think it's gonna be a bit better. You want to add surface breaks or, you know, planar shifts for angles, right? Here too, we definitely want to inset this. And we're gonna extrude that. We're gonna insert it one more time and extrude it. You wanna start creating some interest in here, right? Insert it one more time. In fact, this could poke a little bit deeper, but you know, that's fine. And, you know, run an edge here. So a chamfer. That looks a bit better. Now this one could also be chamfered. So let's remove this one and run a deep chamfer in here like that. Okay, that's kind of cool. Then what we can do is actually borrow this piece, right? I think that's, maybe let's make it bigger. And in fact, before we do that, let's actually run the EM macro here. So Alt EM macro and move it in. And we're going to run 2 chamfers on this. So see, now I'm trying to already design something. Here in the back, we may actually make a larger one. So Alt EM macro and move this one in. Maybe that's a bit too close to the to this structure here, so let's do something like that. And maybe do this one, maybe a bit more flat. That's actually kind of cool. And we can run a ring on this. So shift curve extract, right? Sharpen, shift S, move point the origin to geo, and we're going to scale it a little bit on y-axis, and that's kind of cool. So now here on the front, like I said, we want some kind of like a clip or whatnot, so something like this, and all the way here, Okay, and then you can use shift control, was it? Yeah, shift control to select the area. And then we're gonna go with shift curve extract to do that. And, you know, sharpen this. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna array this. So let's move cursor to the middle here. So two face. And we're gonna use this and we're gonna array this 3 times. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. And what we can do, we could just, you know, rotate it on Y here, like that, and Bob Jean, cool, right? And we can hide this, this element, and I think that looks pretty fucking cool. Now, you know, now we're gonna leave this area in the back, I mean the front area, because we need to work a little bit here in the front. So here, what we could do, oh, by the way, let me save this shit, because 4.0 is stable, but, you know, it's still Blender, right? So it's not plasticity, you know what I mean? This fucking thing never crashes on me, for real. It's crazy. Blender crashes all the time, I don't know. This one could be actually sharp. Although I wouldn't mind doing the same thing in here, though. Mirror to the side, that's it. Now here, what we could do, let's just run a bevel, because I need to see a bevel. Now we can run a kind of a softer bevel. So you're gonna have this kind of a softer feel to it, like a, you know, like some sort of a, like a metal cabinet or whatnot. Here we could actually have, turn off this fucking line. Here we're gonna have a cut, straight like that. Oh, actually that's interesting. Happy accidents. Hello. Let me think. Let me recover this counter. Let me do something like this. So let's cut a piece out here like this. All right. There we go. That is interesting. I like that. Cool, cool, cool. And we can do something with it. So I cut the counter just to create a design. Okay. Now here in the back, what we want to split this, right? So what we want is let's say, maybe that height. We want something like this. We want to move it in here. We want to drop that down. Turn this proportional editing. Something like this. Let's move it further out in here. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna actually bevel this, but not the whole thing. Let me just move it to local. I don't want to bevel the whole thing. I want to bevel it down to here. There we go. Something like this, right? Let me see how this looks. I like that. I like that. So this could be, you know, the beginning of this console. We could have some console in here, some kind of a monitor or whatnot, right? Here too, we could have some kind of a module, you know, like that. Let me just switch it back to cut. And you see, like, you see what's happening, right? I'm playing off of the shapes I'm actually seeing when I'm modeling. So let's press T for solidification and do this. That's kind of cool. Let's apply that. All right, sharpen, and let's just run maybe a bevel here like this. What do I think about that? I don't. I think a better solution would be splitting this in two and actually running chamfer here. But if I do that, what I also need to do, right, is there's a fucking top view here. There we go. I want to run a knife here like this with A. Okay, and then, you know, mirror to the other side. And then what I can do, use these as guides to run this chamfer. That's still not gonna fucking work for me. Okay. Because I want to chamfer here, but I don't want to move these. So I'm gonna align this back like that. And I think this is actually pretty cool. Yeah, that's better. So that's awesome. We could move this one up a bit, right? So we could do that. In fact, we could move this whole thing up. So let's just select this and GZ and move it up. Okay. And then we could actually run, you know, this is a separate piece, right? So L and P in selection. And we can actually lower a bevel in here, right? To make this a bit more mechanical. Because when you lower a bevel, you're gonna make things more mechanical, right? We can do that. And here we could have some kind of, you know, some device. So I don't know, something here, you know, like that. And maybe not as thick, something like this here. Press J and E to move it the other way. And what the fuck is that? Let me apply this mirror here. Operation Smart Apply. There we go. One more time. Turn off this wedge cut. There we go. That's better. And let's press J and E and move it in here. Something like that. And I wanted to approve it, but it didn't work. One more time. J, E, and space. There we go. That's better. And let me just mirror this. There we go. And then recover the cutter. Scale this maybe a little bit on X, and I think it's too high. This will do. Then another thing what I want to do is I want to create a beveled situation here. There we go. And also, let me just, if I scroll this, I want to cut it. So let's grab an end gun and slice it here like this. There we go. That's better. I like that. Yeah, we can think of something here now, you know, on the top. Later on. This could be even, you know, angled as well, like this, right? Let me just sharpen this. There we go. That's better. I like that. That's cool. Awesome, awesome. Here now, what we could do is have some kind of, you know, keyboard or whatnot, you know, so we could have some kind of like a cutout, and I can see we're encroaching on something. Let me just press T. What we could do technically is run the second bevel on this, but let me see what's happening in here. Let me actually apply this Operation Smart Apply. I don't know why it's actually doing that, but let me see one more time. This is too big. Or we could make it asymmetrical, you know. Let's say, or even differently, make a larger keyboard here, or some kind of a control panel. Press T and you know, make it smaller like that, right? Then apply this and select, and let me just mirror this. There we go. And then we're going to Operation Smart Apply, and Blender's gonna crash. Good, I saved. I hope this fucking power save is working, because if it isn't, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. There we go. Fuck me, man. Thank you, Buongiorno. You're the man. Control L, P, selection, boom. And we're going to lower the bevel to make it a little bit less, you know, insane. There we go. Let's run a chamfer on this one. We don't need this fucking edge here. So let's run a chamfer here. There we go. And we can move it up a little bit. So GZZ, that will not work. So let's create a custom orientation. And we're gonna move it on custom, out, like that. Perfect. And let's create some cuts in here. Alright, so, you know, 1 or 2, boom, right? And peachy, and there you go. And we could have some kind of a screen here, you know, so kind of a cutout in here for a screen or whatnot. And cut it in, and come on, cut it in like this, right? And, you know, approve this. Oh, actually, let's mirror that first. There we go. And then approve it. And then we're going to grab that and shift curve extract. And we're going to move it out. Let me just turn up this custom orientation here. And we're going to rotate, rotate it on individual origins. Like this, right? And of course this is too thick, so, you know, we're gonna lower down the solidification. Let's bevel this and sharpen this, and this bevel is too crazy. Let's chamfer this. One more time. Dissolve this fucking edge. There we go. Chamfer. There we go. That's better. Let's lower the bevel. Peachy. And then we need some kind of you know, like an arm or some such. So we can use, you know, box cutter for it. Just watch. Deselect everything and just draw something like this. We need to turn up the cyclic, and we're gonna draw an arm like that here. Press T for solidification. Press B for bevel. And then E for extrusion. And then space. And you got yourself an arm. move it somewhere here. We're going to sharpen this to approve it, and we're gonna simply mirror to the other side, and you're done, right? Then we have some cables and whatnot, but you know, this will do. I mean, we're not gonna be going super crazy on this one. I just want to try, you know, I'm trying to show you basically what's possible, right? This is mirrored from the other side, isn't it? Yeah, so we can do that, and then we can actually grab the edge here. Let me just go to Alt Z and bevel this as well. There we go, and then we can mirror this to the other side. There we go, that's better. And this, of course, you know, you could have some additional cuts in here, but whatnot, right? You know what I mean? Some kind of a wedge cut, you know, here like this. Press W and one more time, and boom. And we could have a wedge cut in here. Press W one more time, right, on the other side because it's mirrored. Here, right? That's cool. We could have another wedge cut here. So kind of larger one. You know, all these kind of breaks and such gonna create. What the fuck has happened in here? Well, now that's a bit fucked up, isn't it? But we could kind of fix this. And by kind of, I mean, oh, balls, that is fucked up properly here. Let me combine these two with a J. Then we can delete that. Delete this one. And is it even doable? Is that even doable? Let me sharpen this. That did fuck all, basically. We do need this connection here because that's what's causing the pull. Connection here, and I think we're gonna be peachy, right? But we still have this issue here. So what we could do is, you know, we could chamfer it like that. And I think it's gonna be okay. We also got some beef here, but I think we're gonna resharpen this. That didn't work. Let me go with this to local. What the fuck is happening here, man? We could fix this. Technically, maybe pull it in here and fix it this way. There we go. Dissolve that and we salt it. What the hell is going on in here? Let me just turn off this bevel for a second. Let me nuke this. Dissolve edge. And then run the bevel. Are we better? There we go, fix. So now let's mirror to the other side and call it a day. We could always run another ring over there, you know, like this. So move this ring here, scale it on y-axis, right, like this, and just, you know, do something like this here, and no one's gonna see shit, you know what I mean? So it's a bit of cheating, and make it maybe more supple like that. So actually pretty cool. Now this one could be coming outwards, so G and E and Y, and extrude it here a little bit, right? And then we're going to create a chamfer here, like this, right? And press 3 to clean everything up. There we go. That's pretty cool, and we could run the chamfer on this one, so preferably from the other side. Now, see this one here, the problem is that the auto smooth is catching this, but if I remove this one, we're gonna lose this bevel here. So technically, what we could do, we could run a bevel weight to fix this problem, but you know, I'm just gonna sharpen it and call it a day. Okay, can't be bothered. Actually, that doesn't work. Let me run weighted normals. That didn't work either. Okay, let's sharpen everything, and this should work. There you go. So that's that. We could, you know, combine these two. Also, we could subdivide it to make it a bit more smooth, and subdivide this one to make it smoother as well. But if we do that, we would need to fix this one. Or, you know, another thing we can do is basically remove these faces to fix that. So, and you're good to go. Let me just save it again. Power save. So you see, like, we're starting to really build, you know, secondary details now, and now we're gonna be moving slowly to tertiary, but you can do it with decals. Now here too, you know, like I'm seeing that this could be some kind of a design in here, Maybe some space for legs, do you know what I mean? Because when you're gonna be standing near, that's gonna be uncomfortable. So what you want is to turn off this fucking line thing, and we could do something like this here, and we could press Shift T to taper it like that, okay? And shift click to convert it to live cut like that. And in fact, you know, let's not multiply this, but you know, we could run a bevel here. I think is gonna be cool, and maybe some chamfer just for fun to make it more interesting, right? Something like that, or maybe even bevel. Fuck it, let's enjoy ourselves, right? Yeah, that's cool. I like that. So you got this another, you know, sort of an element of interest here. Again, this could be sliced in multiple pieces because why the fuck not? So what we could do is run an angle cut here, and we could, for example, run it maybe like this, right? So this could be, you know, 1 unit. So press X and then B for slide bevel, and we can bevel this a little bit and slice it. There we go. And this is gonna create a cool dynamic in here. Now watch this. What I can do now is I can actually grab this right here. So let me apply this. Operations multiply. I can lower the bevel on this one just a little bit, right? But I can also cut this, right? So what I could do is go to local view, and I could slice this from here with an end gun like this, right? So let's just shift click this and move it up so it doesn't interfere with the bevel. Let me just go back now, and you see what I mean? That's pretty cool. So we could do that. Let me see how this is gonna look. I'm gonna run. Actually, that will not work. If I applied, let me just apply this very quickly. Smart apply. I will need to run. Let me just sharpen this and then also smart apply. We don't need this edge here. We can dissolve that. And we can switch this from bevel angle to weight, and it's gonna catch this edge here. We got a problem here in the back, but I know what's causing it. There's probably some additional edge here in the back, or lack of it. So let's mirror to the other side and combine this with a J. And if we're gonna run a bevel here, this should help. Yeah, we can't see the back, so it's fine. We could actually remove the sharp from the equation, so it's going to be better. This one is fine here as well. So let's go back. You see, and that's an interesting kind of a dynamic. Even you can even, you know, kind of make this a bit smaller, but I think this is fine. So we got that. Here we could have some kind of, you know, like a vent or whatnot. We could also have, you know, some kind of additional cut in here. So we could grab the dots here and hold control and run a circle here. And let's just not make our life difficult. Okay, let's run this in here, right? So S Shift X to scale this so it doesn't interfere with this bevel in the bottom. And the top here, don't worry about it. We're just gonna run a connecting line in a minute. So this is fine. Let's just apply this. So operations multiply, and the issue here is a connection or a bevel. Let me see. I think it's a bevel. There we go. Sorted. Connect them more cleanly in here so you can remove that and remove this problem. Another one here. J. Nuke this one and move to other side. And then we're going to grab this one here, insert it, right, extrude it, and you know, do something like this. Okay, here on this side. So you got another element there on the bottom, and here too see that there's an opportunity here. We can nuke these two and create a massive kind of a chamfer or a bevel, and to do that we need to select both of them. What the fuck? Hang on, let me just go with this to local view. What the fuck is going on over there? Select that and nuke it. Now this one was removed, and I think Mesh Machine removed this. So let me mirror to the other side and keep the edge. There we go. I can even remove this one, and then I can run a massive, you know, bevel here in the back, or a chamfer. Which one's gonna be better? This one is kind of interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Although maybe chamfer is gonna be better, you know, something like this, more mechanical, kind of cool. So what we could do here is maybe make this one fatter, so we could scale this up a little bit like this, right? And if we do that, we introduce a mark sharp in here, and we got this kind of a situation, which is, you know, pretty interesting, right? If you wanted to add additional elements of interest, we could just basically cut this one here, or create some kind of like a, let me show you, let me just deselect everything, right? And then we're gonna draw a shape here, move it out, and there's space, and then let me move this, actually not move this, let me rotate this. So scale this, and then we're gonna rotate it to align this to this angle here. So RY and align that, peachy. Then we're going to apply scale. I'm gonna grab that and bevel this and bevel this one, right? And sharpen. And I think that's good. And we can create another cut here, just for fun. You know, like a wedge cut. So let's run a wedge cut here in the middle. So press W one more time and run a wedge cut, and then sharpen, and then bevel. And we have to also bevel this one, right? And there you go. And this could be mirrored to the, you know, to the other side. And you got some kind of element here in the bottom as well, kind of links to the back of this, yeah. Here we could have some interest, you know, here as well, maybe some kind of a grate or whatnot. I would imagine here maybe like a vent, you know. This could be done with decals, but I'm thinking that this could be interesting. So let me deselect this and draw a shape here. Let me turn off this wedge cut and do that. Then move it on X. Where the fuck is this shape? That one. Alt H, Shift 2, there we go. GX and move it in here. Let's just, you know, scale this on Z axis. There we go. Add a bevel and move it up like that, and rotate it on X down, and simply array it down. So array it down on, we need to apply rotation, then array it down on Z. Sorry, oh, there we go, on Z axis down like this, right? And we don't want to, you know, we don't want this to go through the entire width, I mean length, sorry, something like that. That's actually pretty cool, I like that. Kind of emulates, you know, like a vent or some such. It looks more, you know, like a piece of machinery or something, right? And I think we kind of done here. We're gonna have some additional notches here in this one, you know, right? You obviously want to run some loops in here to negate the shading problems. And move it to the other side. There we go. And here we could have a slice as well, right? Just to make it, you know, a bit more interesting, right? Let's move this fucker to cutters because, you know, reasons. Shift 2, come on. There we go. And then what we want also, we want something here on the floor, so we can move this one, Shift D, move it in here. Let's select that, Shift S, and cursor to vert, this one to cursor, there we go, and move it up a little bit. And we can squash this, you know, because it's a little bit too big, I mean too, you know, too deep. And that looks pretty cool, I think. That's awesome. You know, this base here could have additional elements as well, so what we could do is we could cut it here like this with a knife, press B and K, and slice it, and then grab that and, you know, move it here, and sort of squash this like this and move it down. So we got this kind of a situation here, and we could actually make it smaller. That looks pretty cool, right? So you got these, you know, on the front. And I think we're honestly done. Here too we could have some kind of a, you know, some kind of a panel access or whatnot. So let's go back to, well, let's go back to cut, right? And we get some, you know, make it asymmetrical. So something like this, and then press B for bevel, and then Q for quad bevel. Actually, will this work? No, fuck it. That's not the one. Let's make it straight, and let's press X. So we're gonna slash this. So what I can do now is I can grab this this cutter and bevel it like this, right? So we can have something like this. Let's apply this, and we're going to do something like this here. Boom, right? And you got this kind of you know, some sort of I don't know, additional, you know, storage or whatnot. You know, some kind of a panel, openable panel, right? So you know that would be, I think, it. Are we missing anything? I don't think so. Here on the bottom, you could have additional elements, you know, like circular ones. But you could do this, you know, you could do all this with decals, yeah. Press T and, you know, do something like that. And then mirror to the other side. Boom, another element, you see what I mean? So, you know, that's that. Here we could have some turbine, but you're barely going to be able to see that. So I think it's cool. Here too, we could have another, you know, see, like we're missing another fucking edge here. So J that motherfucker, and here too. You gotta be careful when you're mirroring with machine. Mesh machine is going to remove a middle edge if you're not gonna tell it to leave it, so be careful, right? And then E, and it can do this, right? Adds another element here in the front, breaking it, so it's kind of cool. I like that. And I think we're good, guys. I think we're good. So, and you know, this could be some sort of keyboard. You could actually slash this in 2 bits. So inside of this one, we could have additional, you know, some kind of a panel here, like that, right? So do that. This is mirrored. Add modifier. Sorry, operations multiply, right? And then let's just bevel this. There we go, that's better. And let's just press Q for this quad bevel, and B is to turn it off. Come on, there we go. T, and let's solidify it. That's 1, and then we're going to borrow this, right? So watch this, Shift Q, and then go to edit mode, and then select everything with A, Shift D, and then X, and move it in here. And we're gonna do is we're gonna select these two in what do you call this thing? B select, and select these two and these two, and we're gonna move them all the way here, and then we're gonna apply scale. Okay, so apply scale, L, P, selection, and then we're gonna cut it. I wonder why they didn't work. Difference. There we go. So now you see this. So you have this panel sort of, you know, connected. I mean, broken. Here too, let's insert it. Let's create some interest here as well, like this. Just extrude it a little bit, like that. Cool. And we could add some, you know, some elements here on the side. So we could cut this like this, I suppose. And press T for solidification. Let me see that. This is fine. Let's just keep that. Okay, and then let's approve this, and maybe we can, you know, sort of, I don't know, thicken these out, right? So we can grab that and Alt S and turn off this shit one more time. Alt S and make it a bit thicker. There we go. And copy, boom, right? So you got this kind of like kind of fun element here, and that's the monitor. So this could be actually a separate, you know, separate element. So when you texture this, it's gonna look better. I think that's all I wanted to do. Now here on the side we'd have some handles as well, but honestly, I mean, this is, you know, already pushing it, but we could. So we could do is grab a plane, move it somewhere here, and, you know, go to vertex mode, shift 1 with machine tools, and do something like this, and then E, you do that, and then E, right, and then E, like this, right, and then grab these two and do this. And what we could do is we could actually extrude it. So E, X, and extrude it here. Move this one over here, and then we can solidify it. So operations, sorry, modifier, solidify. That's gonna be a problem here for some reason. So let's Alt N and recalculate outside. Let me see it now. There we go. So normals were flipped. Let's bevel this, right? And we can just, you know, drop this on the other side. So now you're just adding some really smaller element, something that could be interesting. But then you could have some additional cuts here, you know, like that, right? And move to the other side, additional element of interest, because why not? So this is how you progress from one stage to another, okay? You need to start with something really simple, right? You know, the general blockout and see, look at the proportions. It's really important. Once you get the proportions in place, start adding smaller elements, like, you know, think what you want to do. If you don't know what to add, go to references, because references is, you know, something you should be gathering, and it's really important, right? So look at the references and see what you can start adding. And once you start adding elements in one area, don't stick to one area, okay? Just move around. You're gonna be able to see what elements you can add on the other side. It's really important not to stick to one place, because when you do that, like when you stick to one place here, you're gonna start detailing, then you're gonna be really struggling with adding details. They're gonna be sort of cohesive and sort of, you know, consistent with your design language. You know what I mean? So this is slightly stylized, right? This is, you know, looks like a machinery piece, but it's slightly stylized. And I was trying to maintain, you know, cohesive design language, right, across this whole model. But if I focus on one area specifically, and I started to build one area and then jump to another, it's a good chance that, you know, I'm going to lose this and start making mistakes, okay? Or like, you know, get stuck and I say, what the fuck am I going to do now, right? Also, what the hell is this? There's a shading problem here. I know what it is. It's a fucking Boolean issue. So let me see that. Bevel being too powerful. Or basically, let me just run a loop here. Or run a knife. I guarantee you there's a loop going from here. I mean, an edge from here to kind of maintain this cut. Watch, it's gonna go. See what I mean? It's mileage. It's basically you see this, you know, these things after some time. So I think we could texture this basically. So why not? We're gonna do that now. Look, you know, I would suggest working with a reference, which means, you know, like a scale reference. And if I'm gonna bring a human in here, it's gonna be fine. But if you're new to Blender or new to 3D, I really recommend you going to actually use proper human references, you know, when you creating something that humans gonna be using. Because if you're not experienced, you're gonna have scale off the charts, and if scale doesn't match, your brain's gonna reject it, okay? You know, for me, I've been doing this for so long that it's just really easy. But even when I do something for a course, for example, right? Oftentimes when I make a, I don't know, a ship or some fucking on a truck, whatever, I'm gonna bring a human in because I really wanna, you know, make sure that the scale is properly kind of, you know, set. These are really good characters. Fuck, I need another coffee. These are really good characters from JAMA. And I could actually use one of them, maybe. I don't think this is gonna fit. Let me actually change this to something else. I think Apocalypse is gonna be better. If you have money, I would suggest highly getting these characters. The link to affiliate link is in the video description. They're really good characters. Jama Jurabif is an art director, I believe, in Lucas films. So this guy is fucking something else. His stuff is just so fucking good. You know, I would just buy his stuff blindfolded. Amazing quality. So I recommend it. Now, let me see. Don't we have someone messing with a keyboard? I don't really want so... Well, these fuckers could be interesting. You know, this guy could work. Control C and Control V, right? There we go. G, Shift Z, move him in here. And now we're gonna have to adjust the scale, obviously, because the scale is a little bit off, right? So let's say, you know, let me just go to local and put a origin point somewhere here. To face, there we go. And now we can scale him from the origin, you know what I mean? So, boom, there you go, right? So you see what I mean? Now I can kind of dial it in, so it's not too, yeah, this, like this, you see that? Now this screen should be slightly, you know, should be slightly this way, right? Right, there we go, right? And that makes sense, okay? So there you go. See, like, I can do it with eyes closed, but if, and again, if you're new, I would really recommend using fucking references because you may be lost, yeah? So there you go. See, that now makes sense, okay? So let's go to render. And let's create another save because reasons. And let's go to Material Works because that's the only way to texture shit professionally in Blender. And if you don't have this, I don't get it because it's fucking good. Now, I'm not crazy about these colors, but you know what? Fuck that. We can work with this. So now this is going to be metallic. Now, usually when I'm texturing something, watch this. I'm going to hide this guy. I'm going to hide this floor. I'm going to select, you know, all of this. And I'm going to just assign one matte. Okay, so I'm going to go here to metal. And let's say assign, I don't know, graphite steel. Okay, and we're going to assign to everything. So select that. Control I, Shift select that, and then copy. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply move, so Alt H, right? I'm going to move around and I'm going to start changing stuff, you know, the way I want. So for instance, here, I'm going to apply the modifiers, right? So precious multiply, and did it fucking work? LP selection, there you go. So it's a separate thing. And then I can work with this. So, you know, this one, for example, this whole thing here could be of a different color, right? So it could be, you know, could be metal iron, could be this graphite, whatever. This actually looks like a kind of a machinery thing, kind of cool. Then, you know, for example, what else? These could be made of some other metal, so it could be made of, you know, half matte steel, or, I don't know, machine steel, whatever, right? These could be the same as maybe this one, or, yeah, this was fine. So machine steel, there we go. And let me see, this one could be actually black, although this one could be the same as this one. I think that's pretty cool. This is fine being dark, I don't mind that. In fact, you know what, how about we're gonna do that? Maybe that's gonna be interesting. Oh, I think I like that. These ones could also be grayish, you know, like this, right? Just for fun. And then these could be dark, I don't mind that. These keyboards could be made of plastic, you know, the rough plastic or some fucking matte screen or whatever. And then we could have some, you know, decals on top of this, right? So floor could be kind of industrial floor, so, you know, this one. And obviously we're gonna have to, you know, or even this one, right? So it's gonna be a bit more matte. We need to apply scale here. And this floor could be a little bit low. Actually, this is fine. Right, and then we could have some lights in here, whatnot, you know, some stickers on the floor. In fact, this whole floor could be kind of cut. So we could have, you know, this piece here, entire piece here cut like this, right? So X and slice it, and we could actually change the floor here to something else, like maybe rubber. So we could run this and maybe make it darker. So, or run this this steel floor here. So, you know, not this one. This, right? Or basically this one. Right? This also works. Right? So we could do that. And then we can have some stickers, you know, because reasons, right? So here we could have some, let's just go to what you call them, to decals, and we can have pneumatics or whatever the fuck, something tough, you know, because you need to make sure that your decals actually fucking fit, you know. Do you know what I mean? So, and this could be actually black. So we could go here and disconnect this and make it black, right? And I think it's gonna fit. See, there you go, boom. That's what I'm talking about. Now here we could have some trims because reasons. So we could go here to trims and, you know, run one of these with Alt. And let me see. This is actually pretty cool. I like that. Here too, we could have a trim. I don't even know if it's gonna be visible, but you know, whatever. So let's just run a trim. This is fine. Okay. Then we can have some kind of lighting in here, some kind of control lighting, whatnot. Just small ones. Remember, don't overdo. Not project. Don't overdo the lighting. Because if you overdo, come on, get up. If you overdo the lighting, it's gonna be too overpowering. So you need to go easy on lighting. Okay. So let's just project it. Boom. Right. I'm not gonna be actually, fuck it. Let's fix it. So Shift A. Cube, move it in here. We still don't have the support for decals and trims, but very soon. Proxy is working on this. He's a magician, this guy. Absolute beast, that guy. So let's do that. That's cool. Here we could have something. So we could have, let's say, some kind of a vent situation. Like that. Here maybe somewhere, right? Just make it smaller and adjust. So project, right? And then dematch and match it to material. There we go. Peachy. Here too, we could have some kind of panels or whatnot, so number is gonna be good, right? There we go, project. And this one also should be dark, so disconnect. And, make it dark. Did it work? What the fuck? Hang on. Why this is not working? Ah, that's why. Cool. Oh, it's a little bit too black, so it's similar. And, the pipes could be also... we could also run trim sheets on them. So, let's see how this is gonna work for us. I think we are in orthographic view, that's why it looks like shit. Well, let me try this. That's actually not bad, So let me mirror this, and whoa, let me mirror this to the other side. There we go. I can nuke this. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. Okay, and so then we can have some, some stickers here, some kind of, because we have a decal like that. There we go. So this keyboard is gonna be a little bit large, but they're gonna be using gloves, no? So they need to have big keys, right? So project, boom. Here we're gonna have something else as well. So let's go to this and I don't know, panel unlock something. Let's just adjust it. Right, make sure it's in the middle. Boom, right, that's good. And something on the screen because I don't know, this one is actually kind of cool. Sort of fits, right? So we could have it split, so something here, and I mean look, it all depends what angle you're gonna be shooting this from, but right, one and another one here. So let me see, I don't know, this one will do maybe, somewhere here. The project done. I'm done. Right, so we got this, and that's pretty cool. And we're gonna have something here too. So let's say we're gonna have this this one that's actually gonna fit really nicely. And project it, so D and project, and we're going to match it, so D, and that's a lot of mods. It's because of the fucking trim sheets. Sheets is getting more convoluted. There we go, more convoluted. I like that. Here on the top we could have something as well, maybe some kind of like a, this is cool. I like that. We could have it on both sides. Project and mirror. And then we're gonna match this, so D, match, and Matte. Did I miss it? There we go, that one. How are we looking? Yeah, it's not terrible actually. It's not terrible, it's kind of cool. We could have another trim sheet here, you know. There's no such thing as too many trim sheets, do you know what I mean? Oh, let's try this one. And the blender's gonna crush. Let's hope that we didn't lose the work. We had a bit of a crush, but I recovered it. Oh yes, the floor. Let me fix that very quickly. I don't know why, but the... what I call them? Our beloved power save didn't work for some reason. Sometimes it happens. Oh wait, this draws from the center. Where is this thing here, right? There we go. Press B. I'm gonna cut this a little bit differently now. Okay, something like that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to sharpen this and I'm gonna bevel this. Sharpen this and bevel this. To create a distinction here. There we go. And I'm going to unlock this so I can actually make it a bit darker, yeah. So I think this should work now. So let me see, there we go. And I'm gonna make this a bit darker, yeah. So like that, and this one's gonna be a little bit brighter, so it's a bit too dark. Something like this, and there you go. Now we could add some kind of you know, dirt to this floor, but honestly I can't be bothered. We'd have something in here as well. Another floor. Slice this. Well, let's just shift bool to slice. There we go. And so we're going to actually copy. That's fine. Yeah, so something like this is actually pretty cool. And we could have some kind of, you know, stickers on the... Let me just fucking save this, because if this one more time crashes, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. Here we could have some kind of indications on the floor, you know, I don't know, 7-3, whatever, right? Adjust. And project it. And this could be a little bit less poking, right? So let's drop the alpha on it. There we go. And this could be moved also a little bit to the left, maybe, so it's kind of offset, you know, something like that. We'd have some lights on the floor as well, you know, because why not? Kind of like tiny ones, you know, these really tiny lights on the floor here somewhere. So adjust and, you know, project, and then grab that, and then a shift dy and move it in here. And then select them and simply mirror to the other side. This one should be mirrored as well, and this one should be mirrored, and this one should be mirrored. And here too, we could have some stickers. Right, and just simply mirror. And, you know, drop the alpha here. Now I'm just having fun, you know, but all these tiny elements, they're going to really add a lot of, you know, interest to your model like here. And, you know, then you could spend fucking hours doing this shit, right? But what you're really looking at, okay, is basically, let me just pump more light here. What you're looking, also different as your right too, right? This one isn't bad actually, this angle. This is actually good lighting. I kinda like that. What you're looking for basically is, you know, you're trying to balance sort of visual weight and visual anchors. And by visual anchors I mean areas that sort of looked empty or kind of unbalanced. You want to balance them, and then you want to add other elements on the other side of the design and basically create kind of like a conversation between islands of details, right? You're not gonna be able to learn this in 2 days. You need, a lot of time to learn that, possibly years. The more you do it, the more, the better you're gonna become. But in a nutshell, I would really recommend you guys grab our course, which is called Rendering University. So you want to grab that because this course will teach you a lot about visual anchors and negative space, and this is all really necessary in order to, understand how detailing works, okay? Because figuring out on your own is going to be rather difficult, trust me, and it's going to take a lot of time. So you're better off learning from some kind of a material that it's very well structured and and well kind of put together. So if I were just rendering this, I'll be rendering this from this kind of angle here. We could also add something here, kind of like a tiny element, so I could just run a cursor to face. It's gonna be easier to add a decal to it, and maybe add something like, I don't know, something like that, and make it smaller, right? And then just run it through project, and then D, and we can match this here. Material, boom, there you go. Yeah, that will do. It's interest, another interest there. Could have some, some stickers here, even yellow ones or whatnot. Like, I don't know, say this one. They're gonna be really strong though. So if you wanna put these kind of stickers, right, what you wanna do is you wanna really drop the alpha on them. Like, really, it's still strong, man, but, that's fine. Could run this one as well. Another one here. Projected, and what's the alpha here? 0.3. Could just copy the alpha, and we're gonna have more of them somewhere here, maybe some one here, something colorful, like maybe this one, don't put your feet where they don't belong, or you're gonna get your shit cut out. Now see, like if I put it in the middle, yeah, this is going to ruin the whole basic design. It's just too centered, too boring. What you want to do is you want to offset that. So what we're going to do is maybe put it somewhere here, right? Or here. This would work as well. But maybe make it a bit smaller, right? Project, and then 0.3, right? So it's gonna bring you, along this whole design a little bit deeper. Here we're gonna have some lights just to bring attention up, because this sticker is gonna pull a lot of attention. So we may want to put something up there, maybe some kind of like a light, kind of a gadget in here, project it, and then we can match it, hold shift here. This the one, and then material here. There we go. It's kind of strong, but it's okay. It's gonna pull up, which is very important. And below that, we could have some kind of a grate or some such. Maybe some kind of a speaker or something that you communicate with people, like, or some vents. Actually, you know what? Speaker would be good. So let's grab one of these here. That looks kind of like a speaker, so we can grab that and put it in here. Here, boom, right? And then, project it, and then let's just match it, right? There you go, see what I mean? And we could have some kind of vents, maybe somewhere here. I know it's gonna be too much, but we could have some vents here underneath. Maybe one here and one below, something like that, and then project. And then double click this to select them, and let's just match them. There we go. You see, that looks kind of cool. I like that. We could add something here on the top as well, some kind of interest here on the top, maybe a vent or some such, there you go, right? tiny one, and offset it to the left or to the right. Maybe put it somewhere here. Project, and then, you know, dematch, and there you go. So it's gonna bring up attention up here. Then you're gonna be moving between all these islands of attention, right? These two could have some clamps or whatnot, just for fun, you know, like clips. I could grab this one, actually. It's actually kind of cool. One here, maybe one here, and we could actually make them a bit smaller and project, and then match, and boom, and boom. Right there we go. See what I mean? Something on the floor, maybe this clamps or whatnot, you know, like here, adjust, maybe make them a little bit larger so you can lift this floor, you know, and I don't know, access some maintenance panels underneath, whatever. Dematch and material, right? There you go. It doesn't have to be super visible, as long as you can see there is a breakage in the floor, in the pattern, you know, that's what's important, right? Cool. So I think, you know, I think we're done. So we can kind of render this now. In order to render this, what we need is a plane, a larger plane. So do something like this. I would do that. That's actually pretty cool. And we could grab rubber here, maybe this kind of a rubber, and definitely apply scale. That looks interesting. And grab a camera, drop it in here somewhere, and let me just save this again because reasons. Let's lock the view, and let me see that. And there you go. That looks interesting, right? Nice framing. Now, when you're framing something like this, you don't want to put things in the middle. You want to kind of offset them again, so you see it's offset to the top and a bit to the right, right? And it's quite dynamic. I'm cropping the shadow here in the bottom, cropping the floor here, cropping the floor here, but I'm not cropping the top. There's more ground than the top. It's important, and there's space behind the guy here. Maybe the space is a bit too much. I could actually go a bit closer here like this. I'm pretty sure I could actually move him a little bit further away to create a larger gap here between these two elements. You want to adjust things for specific, you know, scene. Now we could add another guy because, you know, we have a lot of guys, right? So we got another guy who's doing something. Let's say, I don't know, fucking moving the barrel or some shit. In fact, what I could do is change this guy to something else, but I can have two of them using, you know, wearing different outfits. That's okay. This one should be taller. Something like that. Well, let me see that now. So if I'm gonna move him here and rotate him and move him somewhere here, this could be interesting. There we go. So now I'm getting some interest over there. So I get gap in here, gap in here, gap in here, beautiful separation, enough space from the frame. I can see what he's doing. He could be a little bit taller, and I think that will do. Perfect. And this guy could be actually a different guy. So let's see if we can actually, you know, grab one of these fuckers. Because, you know, it's gonna fit the, you know, the scene, and also gonna be less poking. This motherfucker is quite blue. And it sort of, you know, takes a lot away from the scene. Something is loading. There we go. Let's move them here and make him larger. Rotate him. Drop him down. I think this will do. And move him in here. Now these boots gonna be pulling a lot of fucking attention, but that's okay. I don't mind. Let's rotate this here, and we're going to expand this up, so, you know, and move it on X and do that. Sharpen this, and then we're going to... Now, when you're creating these infinite backgrounds, what you want to do is you want to make sure that, you know, they don't take too much, they don't obstruct too much light. So we're going to remove this. You see, like, the light came back when I removed this. So, you know, sort of like started to sort of bounce back onto our scene. This is not terrible, I think. This is pretty decent. We could try rendering this. It's an interesting scene. Now, this could be a little bit brighter. I don't know if this is actually doable, but if it was brighter, it would be better. So maybe we can make it brighter, you know, like something like that. Right? It's gonna get, you know, give us more light on the scene. And also give us separation, because it's gonna give us separation of this, you know, model silhouette. And I think this is a bit better. So, where? Let's actually nuke this where. I don't want that where. I want a different where. So where and stains. And that worked. Now that's actually nice. And we could also add... We could also add the rust. But make it a little bit less fucking insane. There you go. And same here. We could add edgeware. Also we could add bevel too. But honestly, bevel is not that important. Here too, we could add some stains. And maybe nuke this one because we don't need that. And we could also add some rust. And maybe not as much. So, right, maybe a different one. Hang on. That one is better. And this one could be copied, so copy matte. There we go. So we're gonna sort it. We do need some kind of a wear here. And we do need stains. And we do need rust. And we're gonna switch it to C. And maybe I'll lower it down a bit. Let me see this, how this looks from this perspective. We need a larger scale. There we go, that's better. Let me see that now. So now what we could also do, we could add additional kind of fun to it. So we could add the camera depth of field and focus on this sticker. And this will ensure, or maybe even better, focus on this sticker. This will ensure we're gonna have everything in focus. This plane here could be, I think, a bit darker. Another thing what I could do is go to compositing, use nodes, and we could enable glow. Let me just find the glow here. Glare, sorry, not glow. There you go. I forgot how to use it. Streaks, we want fog glow and we want high. Materials and metal, and maybe we could use something different like aluminum or something. That's actually not terrible. It's a little bit bright though. Cyber titanium is gonna be too. Ooh. Oh, I like that. I'm not crazy about this shadow here though, see that? Well, we could mitigate this by simply adding roughness. Right, like that. This kind of looks like a natural vignette, almost. Yeah, I'm not crazy about this bending here in the top. This could technically be fixed, but you know, let's see that, because that's actually pretty cool. I like that. I can always render this without a background and simply clean that up on the top. It's not difficult. I'm gonna grab a color from here and just simply clean it up. That's easy. So we can render this with a shadow catcher. So the floor is gonna disappear, but you're gonna have a shadow. So you can paint over whenever you want, which is pretty cool. But that's really neat. I like that. See these lights now, how much smaller? They there, but they're not poking. So all these tiny elements you need to pay attention to. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna render the shadow catcher. So it's a cool trick. You go here, select this floor, go to visibility and shadow catcher. So what it's gonna do is going to render this if the floor is gonna be invisible, but the shadow is gonna be visible. So we can do now, we can actually see that we can paint behind and kind of even out this in Photoshop. And then we're gonna render this one more time without the background completely. So we're gonna turn this off and turn the background off. So we're gonna have 3 different renders, and you wanna have 3 different renders, at least 2, in order to be able to manipulate with with the background in Photoshop, so you can adjust things on the fly. The last one's gonna be, we're gonna turn off the shadow catcher, but we're gonna turn off the floor. So we're gonna find the floor here, and we're gonna turn it off and then render this one more time. And this technically could be a PNG, unless you want to. Actually, this one I could use as a render, because there's a lot of shadows got opened because the lighting falls a little bit differently. So this could be interesting in Eevee, like you could create ceiling lights and put some atmosphere and some cool shit. I have a really cool video. It's an old video, but it's a really good one on how to create kind of a really awesome renders in Eevee. There's a lot of tips I got from Chip Walters for this one, so shout out to Chip. And this one's gonna be cut out too, so there you go. Okay guys, well I think that's it for this one. It's been long enough, and I hope you picked up some really cool tricks. Thanks for watching, see you next one.